Hey, this is just sort of review because I realize in order to be able to capture all the information that I'm providing here for the time in which I'm going to be on here, which I don't know how much is going to be much longer because I do move very fast. I'm prompted and I move on to the next thing and on the next thing because I realize that my timeline, uh, the speed in which changes are taking place, which is the rate of change. The rate of change, which represents the sum of its parts, the sum of its parts being the different density consciousnesses that represent the different timelines of 7.5 billion batteries that are on the planet, if you will. Okay? Or they're moving up in vibration, which love is, right? Okay? Which means they're with us, okay? As we shift in higher density consciousness, okay? And then those that are still stuck because they're holding on to just too much parasitic programming, fear-based stuff, will simply disappear. Bye. Okay? And I realize how painful that is for me because, as I mentioned before in a previous video, that's a measurement. When you're a teacher, you measure the success of your students. Okay? How well do they learn to be able to get their energy up so they're basically a self-sustaining copper top battery? Were we successful at being able to teach our students how they themselves can learn through their own experience how to attract more light, how to go faster, how to get their vibration up, how to be able to use in an analog way to be like a self-turning stereo receiver and transmitter, where you can move between different density consciousness levels in which you're beginning to measure the difference between your wave speed vibration and the wave speed vibration and other students that are here that aren't there yet where you're at. And so as a teacher, that's what we do. We're having to navigate through all the different consciousness that exist here. And that is a measurement that we take as a teacher, okay? And there's obviously a bigger teacher that is in the planet that we're connected to in spirit, which is her motherboard, okay? And so this is how, when we're with her and we're measuring the success in their ability to learn through the teacher in the planet, the girl in the planet, and through her teachers, which is us, how well we're doing with our students. Well, as I mentioned before, class was dismissed in 2013. So that means we're running out of time. Okay? And the next thing you know is people are going to be gone. And you're going to be choosing your timeline. And if you're living in a state of fear, it's going to collapse. Okay? It will simply collapse. Because how you can ever expect in a classroom that is based on a law, which is love is a law, she is the one that graduates, if you will, because of what you learned here, a pass or fail grade. Okay? If you have learned to become what love and service to others is, because you realize that you're getting more of what you are, both in energy and the speed of the vibration goes up. When you are what that is, and you have become a lighthouse, then you have learned through this classroom to become what that is. Okay? Which means we're not held captive to that which is parasitic, that is feeding on our energy, because they have an inability to raise it up. And they can't get it up because they live in fear of what love is. They live in fear of the faster speed that we experience to go through all the higher dimensions, go up through the tree of light. So it's like being at the tree trunk. This is like the lower dimension, what is known as lower creation, where the classrooms are. So you're basically punching through a classroom. Your ticket gets punched. Now you're in higher dimensional speed. Now you're with beings that don't run on hierarchical systems. Hierarchical, top down, like a pyramid, right? The guy at the top or the girl at the top says, "You will obey me." Okay? Which is, obey your master. Obey your master. So they set up their political systems in which to do what? Control the energy. Control the manner in which you experience, which basically is back to what I mentioned in another video. Rule-driven functions. They have, at last count, 80 million rule-driven functions. When you have logged all of those functions into your memory, You are running a rule-based function program, which means you're holding on to the lower density from which those programs and those functions are based. So you're basing your energy and what you experience based on a parasite, a demon. A reptilian is a demon. They love their low frequency density, the heavy density, black hole, if you will. So the only way that they can feed on anything else is to hold it captive, put it in a cage, put it in a political system. It's one of the things that I remember when some of the post-debate that was yesterday with Trump and Biden. Here's a big giveaway. Okay, now I realize for some people to translate this might not be translatable because they're not aware of how it works in a bidirectional mirror or a bidirectional echo chamber. Okay, and that is when I thought about something I posted before. I am not who you think I am. You are who you think I am. How many understand what it means by that? The perception that you have of what is external to you, what you're communicating with, is based on the perception that you have of the cosmos that you believe that you live in, because the energy that you are experiencing, what it is that you are, is based on a vibration. Okay? So when Biden said last night and called Trump a liar, what that means in cosmic bidirectional terms is that Biden is the liar. Okay? He is projecting a reflection in that mirror of who he is. He's a liar. Okay? You want a liar as President of the United States? No, you don't. So politicians in this system, and there's a lot of them, are demons. Now that doesn't mean that every single being that is in the United States Congress is a demon, because I know that there are some that are not. But you can measure whether they are by how much energy they have held captive. Because they're in fear of running out of what they believe they're going to run out of, which is energy. Which means they're not a lighthouse. That's why they run political systems, is to feed on our energy. And another indicator of that was another statement that Biden made when he said, for example, in parasitical hierarchical systems, which is a pyramid, when I believe that Trump said something, and I'm paraphrasing here, we're all free to do what we want. The first paragraph of the Declaration of Independence. Okay? And so Biden made a statement that says, we want them to be safe. Now, for some people, they would see, oh, Biden is saying that the government, I will keep you safe. Now, think about that. Most people that I knew from when I grew up in childhood want to be left alone. Left alone by who? A molester. The government is molesting your energy. It doesn't want to leave you alone. It's always in your face, wanting something like your money, your energy, all the rule-based functions. You're safe in all the rule-based functions, is what Biden is saying. We will keep you safe with all our rule-based functions. What he means is we'll keep you safe as a slave. You keep being a slave for us, and we'll keep you safe, because we're going to keep you in the cages that we keep you, which are the prison bars that you put into a virtual reality prison that you created for yourself because you believed it. And that's what they have to do, is to get people to believe they're going to be kept safe, because they know that they are the source from which everybody was traumatized. So what the abuser is telling you is that we will keep you safe so we can keep abusing you. That's the insanity of fear-based programming, which holds us in lower density. So he's a fraud. He's a liar. He's a pedophile. He's a demon. So you can imagine how somebody with a higher density consciousness, it is the biggest insult to creative intelligence and higher dimensional imagination. That's why I had to turn it off. I couldn't watch more than 8 minutes of it with that guy up there, because we already know what he is. More of the same. So I think there was just the last thing I wanted to say, a couple things I wanted to say here, is that the heart has all the answers. That's right. Okay? When you start out as a student in the cosmos, what we learn begins with what? What's the answer to that? A question. The answers to all our questions begin with source, the inception from which all ancient spiritual knowledge begins, where the evolution of the cosmos, of what it learns through the sum of its parts, which are all its students and teachers, in the speed of its learning to produce more light warriors, more lighthouses, more suns, more stars, more energy service providers like the girl in the planet. Now that's basic common sense. All you got to do is look at the sun. That's an energy service provider. It's not charging you for its energy. Either is the girl in the planet. So when you become a lighthouse, you are a self-sustaining energy service provider. That's what we need in the cosmos. That allows us to expand the light that exists within this galaxy and this cosmos. That's common sense. Because all you have to do is look around you. When you wake up in the morning, look at the sun. That's free energy. So when they start charging you for your energy, you begin to realize who they are. They're parasites. Okay, I wanted to leave with Basis Project. I love Miles Johnson. I mean, most people are not going to have enough time, depending on what I know is the acceleration of his timeline, to go through all of his videos of all the whistleblowers and all the knowledge and information that's being provided, from which you can put all the data and all the puzzle pieces together and kick out the bad stuff, keep the good stuff, because you know who the truth is. I've always said Project Ascension, which is INSCENSION, okay, which is Patty Broussard, Micmac, tribal shaman, Gaia shaman, actually, twin spirit. She's the commander of the Earth Defense Force. She's a former graduate. She came from a higher dimension. She came down here, was given a job to do. And I know exactly what she did. So I'm always giving her all my love for everything that she did. She is a wealth of wisdom and ancient spiritual knowledge, okay? So is Karen Ann Luke McDonald, who is my clan mother. So the two big videos on that particular YouTube channel site, and you're not going to get it through YouTube search. The only reason I was just checking it out, and I found out that if you do a DuckDuckGo, if you go to that search engine and put in, for example, YouTube triple spiral DNA Project Ascension, you'll pull it up, okay? And then, of course, is the video that was just done a couple days ago with Basis Project, and I've written it down here, so I'm trying to find it real quick. Where are you? It's Basis Project with Julie Phelps, which I believe is part 6. She has something alert on it, and she talks about BioShield, how it is that they can target your energy signature, what a targeted individual is. Most of you are not targets, okay? Beings like, for example, truth tellers, okay, become targets because they have satellites up above that can basically, look at your energy signature and then know your frequency identity. So they target us, okay? I get a lot of thought forms all the time of stuff that is basically demonic. I just kick it out because it's like return to sender, Return to sender. Okay? So I thought that the one that she had on Basis Project, when was that? A couple of days ago. So if you go to just Basis Project, Project Ascension, Julie Phelps, and look at the date on it, it was like 2 days ago. Pull it up. She has a lot of valuable information. She knows a lot about the secret space program if you're interested in that. Methods to keep your vibrational energy up, and simply just increasing the awareness. She talked about the difference between the higher dimensionals with no political systems. That's right, we're very autonomous. You're free to be what it is that you are. We don't do any harm. It's just like, my God, it's like a completely different reality. Okay? Imagine you are experiencing a reality where nobody is feeding on your energy. You're free to be what you are. Everybody loves you for who you are, because the energy and the speed to which we're all experiencing ourselves is outside time. You're not held to a time clock. Time doesn't exist anymore. Imagine that. So you got to vibrate your way there. So that's why it's important to keep your vibration up. And there's a lot of ways to do that, and I've mentioned that. Here we are. Julie Phelps, Bases 102, Part 6, Major Alert. That's a good video. Okay? Anyway, I love you all. Have a great day. I'm out of here. Bye.